I'm Ronna. I'm an educator at the North Carolina Aquarium on Roanoke Island, and this is a lesson in our Dirt on Soil series. My question to you is, what kind of soil do you have in your yard? It's important to remember that soils form in layers, and they can tell a story based on how those layers fall. And so when we talk about those layers are what we call the soil profile. Sometimes you'll see it listed as a soil horizon, and it can kind of give you an idea of what's going on. The top abiotic soil is what we call topsoil. It's on the top. Then we have the subsoil, and then the bottom is what we call parent material. Now, when you talk about bedrock, bedrock isn't soil because that still hasn't been worked on yet, but the parent material is what will make the soil as it kind of goes up. Sometimes we have an organic layer, and that would be the biotic part of the soil. You need to have decomposers for that to work. But that is an important part of the soil horizon, the soil profile, because that's what the plants will use to get the nutrients they need to grow. So a soil scientist uses their senses to be able to determine what's going on in a soil. For example, they might dig a hole with a trowel, or they might use something called a soil probe, and they'll get an idea of what's going on in those soil profile and that soil horizon by that column of soil that they pull up. For example, they might look at the color. So use your eyes to look at the color. That can give you an idea of age or the mineral content, what's the abiotic part of that soil. If the soil is really red or yellow, that usually means there's high iron. If it's dark, it might mean that there is a lot of organics mixed in. It can also indicate if you've had marsh land in this soil horizon at some point or another. They'll also do texture. They'll take a pinch and they'll rub it between their thumb and finger, and that will give them an idea of whether they've got silt or clay or sand. The rougher the texture, the more pore space that can allow air and water to get into the soil. That's important. They'll also smell it to get a sense of how wet or dry it is, and a very wet soil would mean it's waterlogged, maybe lacking in air, and it'll smell kind of sour. So I hope you'll test your soil in the future. We learned a lot about how soil horizons form. I hope you'll tell somebody about what you learned today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.